So now I'm going to run through some basic modeling techniques. So in order to model or work with anything, you're going to have to select it, make sure it's selected. You're going to have to turn it into an editable mesh or an editable poly. Now in order to do that, I just right-clicked. You get this menu, and you can go to Convert To. I like to work with editable mesh. Editable poly and editable mesh are very similar to each other. They just have a few small differences. I usually work with editable mesh. So now what you see here is you get this drop-down menu kind of thing. You can click on the plus or minus sign to expand or contract it. And these are called sub-object levels. You can work in the vertex level, the edge level, the face level, the polygon level, and the element level. Element you're not going to use for anything like this. That just means you're selecting the entire thing. Polygon means each of these boxes. Each one of these is a polygon. Face is very similar, but it's basically the tries, the triangular faces of everything. Edge are the mesh edges, and vertex are the points. I would say that I tend to work with vertex and polygon the most. I'm zooming in here. You get all these other options over here as well. And by the way, you can select each one of those sub-object levels over here as well. Max always gives you like 3 different ways to do things. Ignore back-facing is a very important checkbox. Basically, okay, I just pressed F3 to toggle so that you can see the backside. Right now, without ignore back-facing on, if I drag and select, I'm just dragging a box here and selecting things, it's selecting everything that I just dragged, front and back of this object. I just clicked over here to undo all that, or to not select anything. Now if I click the ignore back-facing checkbox, and I do that, it's only selecting these top, the ones that are on the front, because that's what I'm working from. That's the view I'm working from. You'll notice that because it's snug right up against this other mesh, this person, it might be hard for me to reach things on the backside. And I might have to pull the entire object away to work over there. But you can still select through that, because right now I'm only working on this spherical object. I'm not working the man's mesh. So I can just select right through that. Okay, so once you're comfortable with that, with the concepts behind that, like again with polygon, I have ignore back-facing selected. You'll see that it's only selecting what's on top. So it's an easy way to just very quickly select things that you need to select. And all of these are pretty self-explanatory. Now let's move on to actually manipulating things. If you kind of scroll over here, you have all these different options. Each one of these sub-object levels will give you generally different options, or at least slightly different. With polygon slice plane, you can actually cut that in half, and you can do that as many times as you want, and select as many as you want. You can control-click to select multiple, just kind of hold down control and keep selecting faces. Same thing with vertex, control-click, selecting multiples.